Don't look under the internet.
Oh shit, that's what I'm talking about. Keep all that in. Hello everyone, welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet. Barbara Streisand's favorite podcast. She said it herself, has it written down. She talked to GQ magazine about it. Oh. That's Doug right up there or somewhere. That's Jason somewhere as well.
Yep, I'm up here. I'm above
Doug,
you.
you have to say something.
Hey, sorry, I was doing a little.
And there's
That's right,
Matt.
you gotta hear it.
Barbara Streisand.
These are there. No.
Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
And I'm Barbara Streisand, and I have my Barbara Streisand hand
Barbara Streisand.
on the trigger, ready to go.
Have you heard the song Barbara Streisand?
Yes, everyone's heard that song. Everyone's heard Barbara Streisand.
All right, sing it then.
Barbara Streisand. Do do do
Good
do
job.
do do.
No, got it in one.
Barbara
we gotta
Streisand's
start the-
83, so we're really running a risk of running into another oops
Yeah,
shit
oh, no.
situation.
Oh no!
Barbara, do me a favor. I need you to die, like right now.
We already killed Betty White. You can't break the streak.
Otherwise, you'll
The
make
kill
it somebody
streak going.
else's fault.
We've done a couple of these where it's just like, yep, they're dead now. It's the Diluti curse. Anyway,
Mike
I'm gonna
Curse,
let's
whenever you
start-
talk about him.
today off with a little bit of Diluti. Housekeeping.
House above your
Housekeeping's fun.
head. Our house.
House above my head.
Above Mike's
Hello,
head.
above our
Our house.
So I'm gonna give a big old shout out. Well, let's play the game. Is your name good?
Is
I
your
don't
name
know.
good?
I don't know. Let's find out. This is the show. This is the segment of the show where we list off the name of people who give money, and we're gonna judge the name because that's what you do to people that give you money. You beat them down.
Yeah. You punch
We're gonna
him
judge how-
squarely in the throat.
We're gonna judge how creative these names are. Ready? First one, Isabella Perez.
That's just your
That's
name.
just
That's
your
just your
name.
name. Do it.
That's- yeah.
Cancel and re-sign up.
But give more money this time around.
Yeah, more money.
Yeah, you gotta pay a fee for signing up with your real name.
Fix this. There
Can
we
you
go.
We should make this like an exclusive thing where, like, if you sign up for Patreon one time and you leave, you can never come back.
Yep.
And then maybe
That's the-
people will be like, "Oh,
You should
Man,
never
I need to
leave.
change my name.
Or we would just
forever.
get a lot less money.
That too.
I think it's the bad business model part of that one is coming out.
No repeat customers.
I'm gonna give. I mean, Isabella Perez. Yeah, it's not the most creative name, but you're giving us money. I'm gonna give you 2 out of 5.
It is your name.
It is your
It's a
name.
good-
It has
Own
a
it.
good name.
It's not like an ugly name. So like
Yeah.
No.
you got a good name. It's not like
Yeah,
Gertrude Rubio.
it's not Lilith Shugunan Shunt.
Or like
So
Gort Frumpus or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
we also have. I don't remember if I shouted this one out before or not, so I'm gonna do it now. Gizimo.
Gazemo.
Gizimo.
Gazemo?
Gizimo. Gyzymo.
Gizemo.
Gizimo.
Mike can't pronounce it, so I'm giving it like a 6. Just on,
Yeah.
on that alone.
Automatic
That's
5.
how you know it's
Yeah.
good. That's how you know
Yeah,
it's
you start
good.
the scale at 5 once you know Mike can't pronounce it.
Yeah. Boys, that's going to
Guillermo.
conclude housekeeping. Housekeeping over. Boys,
Woo!
last time we got together, we talked about underwater mysteries, and I thought that was very fun. But I figured, what if we talked about a mystery that floats on water? Ooh, you know what they say?
Whoa!
Float like a boat, sting like the
Boat.
state of Philadelphia. You know?
The state there. Keep going, Mike. There's too much there to address right now.
You mean you could fly like an eagle, like the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah.
There you go.
Or like seal, which is a water-based mammal. There's so many connections here. We're talking about not the fucking cheesesteak. No. They're talking about
Are
the
you sure?
Philadelphia experiment, which could be how the cheesesteak was created. I guess
Actually,
you'll
no,
find
yeah,
out if
this-
you listen.
we'll give you all the sources. We'll show you the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I like the concept of the Philadelphia experiment. I find it very enjoyable, and I like these stupid little. I mean, it's not stupid. What? I like these. It's totally real, totally real things that happen.
Absolutely legitimate.
Yeah. So I guess where do we start if not the beginning?
Absolutely. I'm guessing you guys might want to know what the fuck the Philadelphia experiment is. It's not like the thing that led to the cream cheese. I
was
think.
gonna say,
I mean, again,
they just like force fed somebody a bunch of cream cheese just to see what would happen.
yeah, it's
Sounds
they
like a good
recreated
day.
that. It's like that one test from the movie Seven where you just force feed them spaghetti, but sponsored by Philadelphia cream cheese.
Or
They
they force you to fuck a prostitute, but the prostitute is cream cheese.
Just a giant human-sized glob of cream
I
cheese.
want to know what the control group looks like in that
Yeah.
experiment. Anyway, Philadelphia experiment is none of those things. It allegedly was a top secret government project, and it was also codenamed Operation Rainbow. And it was carried out under the auspices of who? Albert Einstein, in accordance with his unified field theory. One thing that we kind of know about the U.S. right around the mid 40s to late 40s is that they were definitely bidding on German scientists because
They were going
a lot of
nuts, dude.
a lot of them wanted to get out of Nazi Germany. And so the U.S. kind of took that as,
Why?
hey, we can like steal their brains. I wonder why they wanted to leave. You know, Matt, I'm not sure you could actually Google this and verify the actual
was-
reason for that anymore.
Yeah, what was
But-
going on in Germany at this time, dude?
You know,
Doesn't
there
make any
was just
sense.
if you look on the internet currently in this country, it'll probably say something about a big misunderstanding.
See example America Today.
Yeah, correct. So we were snatching up Nazi scientists because, you know, Nazi intelligence is still intelligence, apparently. And so we were trying to take advantage of all of the scientific breakthroughs that they offered to Hitler and the Nazi army during World War II. And so one of the things they incorporated was Albert Einstein's unified field theory, which is one of the things that actually helped us win World War II. I don't want to say win because I really don't think there were any winners of that war. It allowed us to drop two
we
fucking
won.
nuclear bombs on
The
a country.
American economy.
We fucking
The
won,
American
bro.
economy did one. Blackstone Industries won is what
Yeah.
happened.
Back to back World War champs, am I right?
Jesus Christ. So Albert Einstein's unified field theory. Why are we even talking about this? This was a theory that it helped shape a lot of tech that we have now. And you're going to see so you notice I said Operation Rainbow. It's going to cross with something called Project Rainbow, which is an actual U.S. stealth program. Project Rainbow, Operation Rainbow. So you can kind of see where this is heading. Operation Rainbow was aimed at figuring out how to basically bend light around objects, therefore rendering them invisible. That was the basis of this technology, using Albert Einstein's unified field theory as a basis for the science behind it. They were looking for an advantage to win the Battle of the Atlantic. And so apparently, on October 28th, 1943, this new invisibility tech was fitted onto the USS Eldridge, which was docked at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. It said that those on nearby ships witnessed the generators of the Eldridge begin to hum. Apparently there was like this green-blue hue that was emanated from the destroyer's hull, and in an instant, the ship simply vanished. It said the ship reappeared again just as suddenly, but only after it was spotted materializing out of thin air over 200 miles away at Norfolk Naval Shipyard in Virginia, before then vanishing a second time, and apparently reappearing back at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard.
It also
Now,
like appeared like 10 minutes before. in Norfolk or something like that? It was like a weird time travel thing happened as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of different anomalies around every piece of information about this. According to some of the accounts that were actually taken seriously, some of the unspecified quote unquote researchers thought that a theory of this, like the unified field theory, would allow large electrical generators to bend light around an object via refraction so that the object would be completely invisible. And the Navy obviously regards this as, something of military value, and so they funded it. Another unattributed version of the story proposes that the researchers were preparing magnetic and gravitational measurements of the seafloor to detect anomalies, supposedly based on Einstein's attempts to understand gravity. Again, either way, Einstein's a part of this whole experience. The only reason we know any of this, though, is actually because of one man who gave an eyewitness account. And the only reason he could give that is simply because he was stationed on the SS Andrew Forsyth, which was a ship that was stationed in Norfolk, the Norfolk shipyard or naval shipyard.
Where do you think they come up with
Virginia.
the names for boats?
I don't know.
A lot of times they're like old
a-
military dudes.
Is it like an honor though, where it's like you were so good at military? Here's a boat in your name.
For someone who
a
died.
lot of times it is. Yeah.
I like how
It's
this one is
either-
specifically Eldritch though. Like
I know. I like that connection
Yeah.
too. I wonder if it was on purpose or not.
Sometimes it's
I
they're
don't
like we
spell-
love Lovecraft and Cthulhu.
What'd you say, Matt?
Sometimes it's like old generals. Sometimes it's names of battles. So like if there were battles,
Oh,
significant
yeah.
battles. And sometimes it's just like named after towns and shit. But usually names of like
Is it-
significant military leaders.
Makes
This
sense.
one was named
It's
in
not like
honor of a
hurricanes.
lieutenant.
Very dad core of you, Matt.
Yeah,
I-
dude,
I
I,
watched-
I just looked it up. It was named after a lieutenant commander.
I
But
like
John
watching military
Eldridge.
documentaries. That's...
John Eldridge.
Boy, am I the dad here or are you? I love documentaries on old boats. It's just my favorite thing.
Maybe.
But yeah,
Street Channel Core.
this guy, he's stationed on this other boat that apparently saw this fucking other ship appear and disappear. And apparently he also has documented evidence that the actual media had tried to report on this incident. And this man's name is Carl Allen. I'm just going to toss this over to you, Matt.
Okay. So in 1955, Carl Allen, an ex-merchant mariner, sent an anonymous package marked Happy Easter containing a copy of Morris Jessup's book, The Case for the UFO, Unidentified Flying Objects, to the U.S. Office of Naval Research. So this book in particular is incredibly popular among alien enthusiasts because it's written by an actual science guy, Morris Jessup, who was a doctor in astrophysics. And this was actually one of like the first times that a real member of the scientific community seriously considered or wrote about the possibility of there being alien life and transportation that has made it to Earth. So I guess even to today, this is a pretty significant book in the alien weirdos community. So this copy of the book that was shipped to the Office of Naval Research was filled with handwritten notes in its margins. And so they were written in blue ink, and they appeared to like detail accounts of several different people. But like Jason said, they basically submitted Jessup's ideas about propulsion, flying saucers, alien races, and stuff from the perspective of this Carl Allen, who claims that he was stationed on this ship and saw all this shit happen. So Carl also sent a series of letters to Jessup himself, the author of the book, which were actually signed Carlos Allende, where he claimed to have witnessed firsthand these things that involved the Philadelphia experiment. And Jessup was actually able to determine that these letters from this Carlos Allende and Carl Allen were from the same person, because the Navy actually invited Jessup to come look at this copy of the book that they had been sent, and he was able to compare the notes that were in the book and the writings on the letters that he had been sent, and determined that they were actually sent from the same person.
He also didn't do the best job of changing the name.
Right.
He was just
yeah.
like, what if I put a little bit
Yeah,
of
it
like a
was really
Hispanic
bad.
twang?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really bad.
Well, he has a bunch of other names he goes by too that I'll list later. But
Like Carly, Alendi.
Carla.
yeah, he's not
Carla.
really- he had some creative ideas about things, but he definitely wasn't creative with his naming. And like the other peoples that he mentions in the books just have totally fake sounding names that I didn't write down, but they were like really stupid sounding. But this is real. So when Jessup actually wrote back to Carlos Allende requesting more information to actually corroborate his story. And so Allen writes back and said that his memory would have to be recovered, and then he referred him to what appeared to be a non-existent Philadelphia newspaper article that Allen claimed that existed that covered the incident. So I guess that was the documentation or the writing that Jason mentioned. But as far as I can
have
tell,
that if you want it.
it exists because from what I could tell, the one that he mentioned in this response did not actually exist, or nobody could tell that it actually existed.
I can give you the thing that he claims existed.
But but is it like actually a copy of the thing?
No, it is. I mean, it was a scrap of paper that looked like it might have been torn from a place that may have been attached to other paper that contained news articles.
So there's no corroborating evidence that this actually
No.
exists.
That's good enough for me. This
Good
is
enough for me.
real.
No, but he said it was. He said it was torn out of a newspaper. How is that not good enough for you?
Yeah. See, the thing about newspapers is usually they make copies of them. They don't just write one.
Well, the other thing, the article that he's even referencing, which yes, you are correct. There's no corroborating evidence. No one else can find this article, quote unquote. But all it does is it talks about a brawl that happens in a bar near the U.S. Navy docks, and they got surprised to find the place was completely empty, and 2 people had disappeared, and then there was a huge boom they heard, and that was about it. That's the whole article.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Great.
that's the
Heard
corroborating
big
media
Correct.
evidence
That corroborates
that
the
was
whole
fun.
thing that the ship teleported and
Yeah.
came back, and yeah, okay, I got you.
obviously.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so in these notes to Jessup, Allen details that, or explains to Jessup that he thinks he's in danger because he has gotten too close to figuring out the secrets of alien travel and that he knows too much. And not to ruin Mike's part later, but this is maybe corroborated later on when Jessup gets found dead by asphyxiation in his car later, like a year later. And did he do it? Did somebody else did it? Anyway,
Who's to say?
yeah, who's to say? So Carl goes by several other names and like a bunch of other writings and notes that he sends out over the years. He goes by Senor Professor and Colonel Carlos Miguel Cristofero Allende.
Jesus Christ, this guy was just like, what's yo soy el professor? Like,
One time he claimed to be, this is the only one that's not even close to his name, Wernher von Braun, and Dr.
Oh, are
Carl.
you kidding me?
Dr. Carl Meredith Allenstein? Yeah.
isn't
Dr. Carl
Werner
Meredith
von
Allenstein.
isn't Werner von
Stop putting
Braun
your real name in your fake names.
isn't Werner von Braun
Doing that.
a Nazi guy?
Yeah, a British rocket engineer.
Yeah, he also I think worked with Disney.
Yep.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I misread this. He wrote to Werner von Braun
Oh, okay. I'm like,
under the name Dr. Carl Meredith Allenstein.
There it is
Yeah,
again,
so he-
Carl Allenstein.
Yeah.
This dude
so he
sucks.
has to
So he
fucking just
just-
leave his name in there.
So
You should
he
use the
decided,
ego.
he decided to make up a fake German sounding name that was basically his name to write to the German
Mhm.
guy.
I think it's an
Anyway.
ego thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Carl died in 1994, and he was not a doctor either.
Ooh.
So we have no way of like actually verifying anything now. We are left with what he wrote and claimed over the years,
Oh,
which
oh, damn.
Do I want to spoil what he has said about his own claims over the years, or is somebody going to get into that later?
No, go. I don't get into it. If
Okay.
you want to,
He has
I only
repeatedly claimed
spoil a few things.
he says he made it up, and then when he's asked about it later, he's like, "Nah, I didn't make it up." And then somebody else asked, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I made that up." And then later he's like, "No, I definitely didn't make it up." So who's to say?
he's just a professional gaslighter.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that like the best way of like building credibility though? Because you can't prove or disprove it, so you have to go
Exactly.
find the evidence.
Who the fuck knows?
That's like saying there
Carl
isn't a fucking potato. Oh my god,
Carl
I can't do this
Allen.
again.
Carl Allen, you fucking figure it out.
You
Anyway.
fucking figure it out.
So let's try to fucking figure it out. Does anybody have any more information about what exactly happened during this alleged maybe thing that happened that somebody didn't or did make up?
Yeah, so I'm gonna reiterate some things that Jason already kind of said, but basically, a TLDR of that is that obviously we were testing unified field theory. We wanted to bend some electromagnet fields around the ship, making it invisible. When we flipped the switch, witnesses claimed that there was this big glowing green-blue haze around the ship, and then accounts say that the ship went from Philadelphia to Norfolk, Virginia. God damn, say that 20 times fast. After a few minutes, it reappeared back in Philadelphia. However, according to the story, the Navy covered up a lot of the incident and quietly transferred surviving crews to other assignments and erased records of the experiment altogether. So essentially that's what happened to the ship, or so we were told. But we do have some accounts of like what scientists saw when they actually got on to the ship after the experiment. So when they came aboard, they found several sailors were partially embedded into the ship's metal, arms, legs, torsos, all fused into bulkheads and the decks, as if like the ship had like kind of swallowed them almost. So just like kind of half in and out. Some men were stuck inside of walls. They said there was a lot of people just screaming in agony. Others were just simply missing. Crew members were just never found. They were just unaccounted for. Some were just like babbling incoherently and catatonic, like their brains had been like totally scrambled. Some went insane on the spot, unable to process all the events of like what transpired before them. Some survivors later experienced freezing moments where they would vanish into thin air and then like reappear, not knowing what had just happened.
Imagine that.
Bro,
like
I'd
you're
be-
just shopping at Kohl's and then you're like, "Oh, this looks nice." Gone. And then you just reappear and it's like closed. What happened?
That'd be pretty fucking wacky, let me tell you.
Where do you think they go?
Covered
It never says. Where do you think they go?
whatever's between here and Norfolk, Virginia.
The Veil.
The Veil. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really weird. Like I can't even imagine that, to be honest with you. Like it seems, I mean, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very sci-fi in nature, you know. So we see a lot of teleportation going correctly in most movies and like stuff. We never see it going wrong, except if you watch The Fly. So I don't know, but some witnesses also said that they had injuries and like burns, like radiation burns. Apparently, a few burst into flames without any reasoning. And then one of the famous stories say that a group of sailors in a bar weeks later got into a fight, and then like during the chaos, two just like blinked out of existence in front of everyone. But those just all stories as far as I know. But yeah, I guess the scientists were basically saying that they were really not sure like how any of this worked. They essentially know that they threw the switch, they made the ship invisible, and in the process they had tampered with space and time and matter itself. And then basically fearing any more disasters like this, they just shut the project down immediately, classified all the records, and told everyone to quiet up and go do something else. So
there is another story of I forgot what it was called specifically. It's like anchoring or something. where some of the sailors afterwards would need to like almost constantly have someone they like love or like care for like touch them or like hold on to them, and that was like keeping them from phasing out somehow. Like that, they're their anchor onto this world, and if they let go, then they would like just phase out or back in. Very weird stuff. I also think the guys in the bar got very lucky because I'm trying to imagine like they're getting in a bar fight, someone throws a stool at them, and they just blink out right before the stool hits them. So yeah, probably a lot better that happened to you. If you ask me.
I can clarify a little more about the people that disappeared from the bar, but I figure I'd let you guys talk more about it. Does anyone else have anything to say about those two before I?
I don't have anything to say about those. I have one little blurb of stuff left, but I can wait
Cool,
until after discussion. No, you go ahead.
The only thing I would share about the guys from the bar is that later, they both were talked to and found and contacted, and apparently they were underage and not supposed to be there, and if they found out, they would get dismissed from service. So a waitress snuck them out the back.
They're like, we see the fight cloud happening with all the fists and the hands and the shoes coming out of it. She's just like,
yoink.
What are you children doing here?
But yeah,
we're just roughhousing at the bar. That's what I imagine they sound
I'm
like.
14. I'm a man.
I can fight for America, but I can't drink about it.
Nope.
So officially, the record for the ship is this though. So it was a real U.S. Navy destroyer. It launched in 1943. Spent World War II escorting convoys across the Atlantic. After the war, she was transferred to the Greek Navy in 1951 and renamed HS Leon.
You and just then do that?
It served until 1999, and then it got scrapped.
Can you just do that? You could just, hey, other country, you want this boat?
The USS Eldridge was given to Greece as part of the Mutual Defense Assistance Act, which was a plan that President Truman put in place to help rebuild European countries' military stocks after World War II. Because America felt that having their European allies in Europe like well stocked from a military perspective was a good idea, considering Russia was also quickly building their military.
Dude, that's so wild. We're doing the same thing now, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Right.
Why wouldn't you
providing
friends
providing aid to our European allies so that they can fight off
Yeah, we're doing that exact same thing. Yeah. The UN, we're helpful in there, and we always want to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
information.
There's a couple other experiments that are taking place around this time of the Philadelphia experiment. Turns out we're very efficient at just fucking around and finding out. Not all of them took place in Philadelphia, but some did. First and foremost, I'm going to be talking about a couple things. One of these things we may have to talk about a little bit more in depth because it sounds so fucking weird. But I want to talk a little bit about gaussing. Basically, gaussing is a unit of strength of a magnetic field in a like deep sea mines trigger. These mines would be able to read the magnetic field of like boats or ships or anything that's coming by, and it would basically be able to feel that like disruption in the magnetic field, and that would trigger the mine to float up and detonate. Degaussing was an experiment that the U.S. was doing on some of the boats in Philadelphia, which basically the first round of degaussing experiments was taking electromagnetic copper coils and just wrapping the ship in it. And then that doing so would fuck with the electromagnetic field around the ship, thus affecting how the mines track them, basically making it so the mines wouldn't be released and explode the ships because it wouldn't track or notice these differences in the electromagnetic field. We soon discovered that just wrapping a giant fucking battleship in copper coil. A, super time consuming. B, super expensive. Not all that worth it to do on, you know, your
Not a
hundreds
good
of
way to spend your time.
Yeah, just especially because degaussing only worked for so long. After a while, the potency basically of the effect of the electromagnetic field from the copper would disintegrate, and you have to basically recharge it after a while. So it would basically be them having to go out there, wait for this thing to fail, these coils to fail, bring it back to fucking port, charge it up, which takes forever, send it back on its way. It had a limited range essentially before it had to be charged back up. It just wasn't that effective. So they discovered something else they called whipping, which same concept, but it was just cheaper to do because now instead of wrapping these copper coils around the ships and bolting them on and making sure they stay, they just decided to just huck them off the side of the fucking boats and just let them drag along the ship. So they just have these like tentacled spools of copper wiring just giving off an electromagnetic field that is just throwing off these mines. And that was way less time consuming, way less cost effective, or way less costly because, again, now you're not wrapping an entire ship in copper. You're just letting it trail behind it in the ocean. Same effect, basically. Another big experiment that was going on in this time frame, which kind of has to do with this, was from the Germans. Surprise, surprise. It's called Die Glocke, something like that, or as translated in German, the Nazi bell. So we may have to talk about this more in depth at some point, but essentially the Nazi bell is this giant bell-shaped device that the Nazis discovered and started experimenting with that emitted this super lethal radiation to anybody that came in contact with it. They had multiple scientists that would work
into the whole like Nazi warlock stuff.
Kind of a little bit.
God, I hope so.
So
that's something we for sure need to talk about.
Yeah, just the Nazis and the occult, man. If they weren't Nazis, it'd be cooler. If it was the whole Nazi thing, if it was just like, if it was just like a bunch of dudes in the early 1900s that are like, yeah, we love fucking experimenting with artifacts and the occult, I'd be like, fuck yeah. But no, they had to be Nazis and ruin it all. So way to go, Hitler.
Yeah,
Prick.
if you just hadn't killed
Somebody
all
clip
those
that out of
Jews.
context.
If the Nazis hadn't been Nazis, they'd be cool.
Does this end up connecting to the Nazi UFOs in Antarctica again?
A little, but
why does everything connect?
Everything.
It's not that it connects to it directly, but it's the same type of weird shit. So essentially, this giant this giant thing is a bell-shaped device. That again, every scientist that worked on it had lethal radiation exposure. Every test subject that they had come near it, lethal radiation exposure. It contained inside of it this thing they called serum 525, which is this purple, like gooey, like liquidy substance that they had to keep inside of a lead container because it itself was radioactive as well. The Nazis discovered that if you spin this thing around and around and around and around and around, it could manipulate space and time. And they were somewhat successful with this. They were able to have certain things blink in and out of existence. We did have similar issues happen to what happened with the Philadelphia experiment, where, you know, things that blipped out would come back fucked up. Think Event Horizon. You know, when the ship goes to, you know, the hell place, nothing is the same. They're all fucked up. It's basically that. It's that exact same type of premise. The people that worked on it, there's, you know, quote unquote interviews of them being like, yeah, we went to a place kind of fucked up, dude. A lot of people lost their minds. They said it was a land of torture, essentially. So it's basically Event Horizon, but not space, Nazi Germany.
So it's Silent Hill.
Yeah. So they they definitely did want to. The end game for this was for this to be used to travel dimensions. That was a big thing, allegedly or whatever, with like Nazi Germany back in the day. Was towards the end of the war, they knew they were losing, so they had the mindset of it's the same reason they went to they went to hide in Antarctica or on the moon, if you believe in that shit. They were basically saying, yeah, we may not win this world, but we're gonna retreat. We'll win another world. It's basically,
or we'll come back
saying,
later where you can't touch us.
Yeah. But their whole thing was, okay, maybe we lost this one. Let's travel to a different dimension where we can take over that one.
Yeah.
So I find that very, again, sans Nazi stuff, kind of a cool concept. A giant bell thing that tears through dimensions. That is theorized, and this is how it ties to the UFO thing. Sorry, I had to pause and take a drink of water for a dramatic effect.
Yep.
So it is theorized that this bell was actually a piece of alien technology that was found from a crashed UFO site. And when we found it, that's when we started doing our experiments on it. And that Serum 525 may have been some sort of fuel or energy supply for this UFO. And this is how we also, they kind of theorized how UFOs travel through or travel around. It's not necessarily that a UFO came from a far distant planet. This made them theorize that UFOs came from far distant dimensions, and this is how they got here, is with this bell.
With a bell, a Nazi bell.
A Nazi bell. The fucking Greys, in dimension 5829 was like, what if we had a Nazi weapon and we traveled to Earth in 1942 or whatever?
They're like, what
great
are
idea.
Nazis?
Great
like,
idea.
we don't
What's
know.
a Nazi? I don't know. We'll figure out when we get there. Clehor. So that's kind of that. I couldn't think of an alien name. So Clehor is the name.
That's a great one. I think you should keep it.
So that's kind of the
Smegmar 9 episode 3-1.
Clehor's bell.
Very soon, I think. Clehor's bell. Oh my god.
Let's see what
Sounds like
Art
a
Bell has to
magic
think
card.
about this. Yeah, right.
All right,
What about
I'll get
Zatch?
Deludibot to start working on that.
There we go.
I tap Clehorg's bell and
Scry.
everybody
Jesus
knows.
Christ.
So that's really about it when it comes to like other big experiments that were happening at that time. Now I know what you're probably wondering though, like, why is it that we can't find any records on this thing? And I think you guys said it best yourselves earlier.
Well-
It's that that G dang government cover up, dude.
Well,
That G
no, man.
dang
They had
government
that.
cover up.
They had that totally real news coverage from that totally real newspaper article that was in a totally real newspaper.
You're right. The government doesn't. They were too late. They couldn't cover it up. The cat was out.
They
of the
couldn't,
bag.
it was already out. Yeah.
Mhm.
You can't put the cat back in the bag unless you have food.
Yeah. Government's covering everything up by a couple of different means. I'm glad you brought it up. First and foremost, like you brought up before, Jessup dead, asphyxiated in his car a year after
DED.
everything. Coincidence? I fucking think not, dude. Was he having financial hard times? Probably. I don't know. Is that a big factor in people dying? Yeah, but did he do it? Nah, government cover up. They killed him for publishing all this stuff, even though it already came out. So, like, why would they have to kill him? Also, many believe that the government altered the ship's logs and crew to show that nothing suspicious occurred. Like Doug said before, they would take some crew off of the ships and they would put them onto other jobs or other boats, other ships. So it would be like no one was ever there on the Eldridge to begin with. Many of the crew many believe that the crew who died afterwards with the, where they were like blooping in and out of existence, or the one that just spontaneously set on fire, people believe that they actually did not die, but in fact were kidnapped by the government for testing purposes, so they could be experimented on to see if they could give any more information or insight into how to harness this Philadelphia experiment technology. Also, in 1984, there is a movie that came out about the Philadelphia experiment. This movie is rumored to be funded by the government to make the experiment seem more like a sci-fi a sci-fi story rather than something that's real. This obviously would help keep people off the trail. Oh, it's just a dumb movie. The movie itself apparently is not that good, and allegedly the government did that on purpose to further discredit the experiment. Make a bad movie, make people talk about how shitty the movie is. All of a sudden, the Philadelphia experiment is more of a joke than anything. They even changed sole events of the experiment in the movie just to further cause chaos and confusion with what actually happened. In the movie, it talks about two guys who, during the when the Eldridge was going green and blue and all that haze was going on, they fell overboard and they were time traveled into the year 1984, where they had to figure out what the hell was going on in the future and figure out how to get back to the past. Samurai Jack. And they that never happened in the Philadelphia experiment. That's just part of the movie. I'm pretty sure the names of the people that fell off the ship are supposed to be names of people that were on the crew of the Eldritch, but I don't fully remember. But that seems to be many of the takes. Another being this one I only saw like one or two people talking about, but another one is that they got to Carl Allen, and that's one of the reasons why Carl Allen was throughout the later years of his life like, yeah, I made that shit up. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Because the government basically kept coming to him like, hey, shut the fuck up. And he's like, okay, yep, I made it all up. It's not real. And then after a while, he thought he was safe, and he was like, totally saw that shit. And the government come knocking on his door again, and he's like, sorry guys, totally made it up. Not real.
No, they definitely would give him multiple chances. Definitely would absolutely be like, all right, I'm going to take your word for it this time.
They wouldn't just have him shoot himself or anything.
Hamburger time him.
Mm-hmm. Hamburger time him. But that's the Philadelphia experiment. Like, all in all, pretty fun concept of I do hope, and I do feel like it was on purpose that they called it the Eldritch and just kind of changed the spelling of it, so it did have that Cthulhian Lovecraftian feel to it. I really hope that was on purpose.
If I ever see anything that is like a little like tip of the hat to like a fucking pop culture icon or something like that, that's my first key clue that this either probably isn't real, or like it's like if there was a vampire and I what was that Rick and Morty thing, the Coach Ferratu, like you if you were trying to hide this shit, you wouldn't tip your hat to like Cthulhu and the Eldritch.
I'm Doctor. My name is Dr. Acula.
That's the thing that always gets me. Yeah, with these sort of conspiracy theories things is they're always like, oh, they left clues hidden in plain sight. Really, this and this and this, it all adds up. It's like, why would they do that? If they were going, do that? If you're so convinced that the military has somehow been able to keep so many people silent on this for so long, for decades, and they would put hidden references in the names of things.
Like, was this National Treasure? Like,
yeah. The Da Vinci Code
does make it make sense.
You don't leave a trail. Like, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. What do we think, boys? Real or fake? On 3.
Oh, absolutely real. Oh,
God. Well, Dad. All right, we'll just say it now.
How that works, huh?
I'm going fake.
Since we've had to.
I'm going fake.
Yeah, I'm going fake too.
I'll say fake.
My biggest argument for why I think it's fake is not all that. I can let all that dumb shit slide and still think it might be, half true. The biggest thing that makes me think it's fake is the fact that if you look at it from a purely like military experimental like mindset, this was a success. If the whole point was to have your ship go invisible and instead you just invented teleportation, they wouldn't just scrap this idea.
Oh yeah,
this would be something. Oops. Yeah, they don't care how bad it was on a person. I mean, if the government runs MK Ultra, Agent Orange, all that shit. They don't care if it fucks up and kills people. They're gonna run tests on it and see what was successful and what's not, and try it again and again and again. The fact that this is the only
Yeah, they're
Like-
gonna do it again, but like put monkeys on the ship instead. And
Yeah, the fact that this is the only example of this type of like teleportation thing happening, that kind of tells me it's not real. If there's multiple examples of it, I might be like, okay, sure, you might have a little something here, but yeah, the government would see this teleportation thing and be like, bet we're gonna use this and look more into it. We'll
Oh,
kill
100%.
1,000 men, 1,000,000 men for this. We don't care.
The only
it's
thing
it's
that,
fucking
like-
water news from Monsters Inc. I'll kill 1,000 children if it be like it's
get-
that.
I guess
They
the
don't care.
minor concern that you do have with this is that if the ship is just randomly teleporting when you do this, how are you going to be 100% sure that you're not just going to teleport it into the middle of the like Empire State Building or something?
That's true, but
way
that's
too spot on for it to be like. Because if they're just testing something out, there's no like little panel box like in fucking Doc Brown's car, like going
Yeah.
like, here's the coordinates. Like it's.
But that's
they-
why
No.
that's why they would keep experimenting, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
Well,
no,
I mean,
that's the reason why they shouldn't, because they don't know where it's gonna go. You're not gonna take like an aircraft carrier and accidentally 9/11 yourself. With
I mean,
Well, think about it.
we created the nuke with the small chance that it would literally
Yeah, but that was
explode the
calculated.
atmosphere and kill
yeah, but
everybody.
that was but nobody's gonna be nobody's gonna get upset about that because everybody's gonna be there's gonna be nobody to complain.
Also, I feel
100%.
like
Well,
if they were testing a giant ship teleporting, there would be so much news coverage on this because it's not just like they're not just hiding it. Like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Well, think about the my biggest question is everybody likes to think that every reference point that exists on Earth. If you're looking at teleporting
That's also true.
something,
Make sure you're not
it
gonna just like
doesn't-
slam it into the moon.
we're moving at like 22,000 miles an hour on average in a direction somewhere. You know what? Like, how are you accounting for that Z value of like where you are statically in space?
That's
like-
fair. Yeah.
Yeah. You're making two assumptions. You're making the first assumption is that you're assuming that it's going to maintain its momentum as it's
On Earth.
teleporting. And two, the other assumption that you're making is that there's no friction or anything that's going to slow it down, where it's not going to end up like in the center of the planet.
Right.
that's why I feel like the gate idea of like a portal or something where there's an entrance and an exit makes more sense than just like blasting a beam at a ship and being
That's
like,
true.
where's it gonna go?
there is Stargate technology. We talked about it with that one wacky guy. I forgot his name. Where they was like, oh, they had teleported us as kids, and I was with Obama or whatever. I forgot that guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
yeah.
maybe
Oh, I
maybe
guess
they
you're right.
yeah maybe they
Paperclip or some shit.
yeah maybe this was the
That was the fucking that website. God damn, what was that called?
yeah
That thing
I
we
don't
did like
remember.
4
Oh,
parts
fuck.
of.
Yeah.
It doesn't
maybe
The Ascension glossary or whatever.
No. This was
Oh no.
Different thing.
It was the
What the fuck
batshit
was
insane
that?
conspiracy theory
no. This was like an
repository.
the Field Studies Institute.
Field
Oh, yeah.
studies. That's right. I thought it
no
was
that
so
wasn't
good.
that wasn't about the field studies.
Field Studies Institute was where the guy claims to go back in time, right?
No, Field Studies Institute was just an ARG.
I thought that.
Oh,
was,
yeah.
I thought that was involved in that though.
No. Field Studies is just a
Damn.
fun little
All
ARG
this-
thing
All
about.
this dumb shit is like mess.
It's stacking up.
Yeah.
God damn it! This is gonna
Sorry.
bother me. Doug, look it up while I finish
I'm doing
talking.
it. I'm doing it already.
No, but I guess maybe the Philadelphia experiment it was like the rough draft of what became like that thing, like the Stargate experiments and shit like that. That's entirely possible as well, I guess.
Could be.
I don't. Doug, are you looking up like past episodes or? Yeah. I'll know it when I see it. I know that much. I just have to
Pegasus.
see it. Project Pegasus? No. Oh, yeah, it was Project Pegasus.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the one.
Travel and shit. Yeah.
That was the one. Yeah, Project Pegasus. Yeah.
I knew it was something. I said paperclip, but whatever.
Something with a P.
But that's all I got. What do you, PB? I enjoyed it though. Fun story. I will say, fun story.
It was the fucking
Yeah.
the melding with the ship parts, like the crew, like that.
Mhm.
Great
Yeah,
writing.
pretty
Great
creepy.
writing.
Yeah. You know what else has fantastic writing is potentially you, viewer. patreon.com/listener. If you write in and send us an email at
Yes.
deludedpod@gmail.com and you send us your hometown horrors, subject line, hometown horrors 2025. Give us a scary thing that happened to you and then sign your name at the bottom of it, and we'll read it off on an episode. And if it's super juicy, maybe we'll have you on to read it. Who knows? But yeah, send those over because we're getting a spooky season here soon, and we need them now so we can have enough to fill an actual episode. Because I feel like last time we were getting close to scraping the barrel. But yeah, we need them now. Speaking of our email and everything, socials are attached to that too. Find us on every social media thing and on YouTube. We're Don't Look Under the Internet or DeludiPod, fucking everywhere. If you're on, I don't know, if you're still on Twitter for some reason, I don't know why you'd be there, but we're there, I think, somehow. We're everywhere. Instagram, we're pretty prolific on. So just check us out, man. It's fun. Check it out. Yeah, check it out. And then go ahead and if you were ever on a boat with your father, go ahead and wrap some copper coils around him, give him a kiss, and he'll probably vanish and wind
For
up
a little
in,
bit.
Yeah, for a little bit, and wind up in Norfolk,
And then
Kentucky,
you
or
get
wherever
your
the fuck.
government issued Black Dead.
Yeah.
I saw that YouTube short again the other day, and like, oh damn, I forgot about that.
Jesus. Holy Lord.
Well, Matt, what do you have to say to the
All right,
people?
I already said what I got to
What do
say.
you have to say for yourself?
Perfect. Yeah, what do you have to say for yourself? Doug, what do you got?
Shit, I don't know. I guess slap your peen against the USS Eldridge, and I guess now named the HR Leon in Greece. Go to Greece, everyone.
Get some
Not
yogurt.
sponsored.
Yeah.
Jason, what do you got?
As always, stay paranoid, but I'm going to bandwagon on Doug. Yeah, go have sex with an old U.S. boat that lives in Greece now.
There
Just
you go.
fucking broad daylight, just no shame. Just fuck it. Just as much as you want.
Oh, here's
my strange addiction. I fuck old boats.
I fuck old boats.
it's the pica of sexual problems. One more thing. If you ever want to hear like more like deep dives into topics and hear like the really cool and like in-depth side of things, don't listen to us, I guess, because Matt will just edit me going hard on a topic right out of there.
Salty.
You're gonna be disappointed if you go to Greece because the D-54 Leon was sold for scrap in 11th of November 1999.
What?
Boo! Actually, I think I said that during my part, so
Go
I do
check
know
on the
that.
part numbers.
apparently.
Leon, no. No, that edit was funny though. Thank you, Matt.
Well, now you just have a sexy mystery on your hands.
Yeah,
Go find out where the parts went.
and then fuck him in the junkyard with no shame. Everybody, have a blessed day.
Don't look under the internet.